free, Skaro! Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 851. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
I am Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
And here, okay, folks, this is it. Emergency podcast disguised as regular episode. Thank you, Russell T Davies, for acquiescing to our whims and
yes, absolutely.
Announcing this well in advance of our regular recording time of Ncuti Gatwa announced as the new Doctor Who, which happened at the BAFTAs this morning for us, earlier in the afternoon in the UK. He was apparently cast back in about February. He was introduced on the red carpet along with Russell T Davies. And yes, of course, obviously the first non-white actor to appear regularly in the role, not discounting Joe Martin at all here. But curiously, not announced as the 14th Doctor.
Oh, God.
Sources still...
Yep.
Sources still indicate that
keep clinging to that
sources still indicate that David Tennant and Catherine Tate will be back for about 3 specials to kick off the 60th anniversary.
Why?
Well, I don't know, Warren. I don't know. That part has not been announced. Let's not diminish the impact of Ncuti Gatwa,
let's not.
who you might have seen in Sex Education. I haven't, but
as it sort of overrides the fading spark of Jodie Whittaker's era.
Wow, that went negative. Anyway,
well,
this guy seems perfectly charming. I've never seen him in anything. But from the BAFTA interview, I'm like, yeah, this guy seems like he certainly seems excited for the role. So he's 29, which that's disturbing. He's born in 1992. I am very old.
You will see him in the Barbie movie, Warren, I'm sure.
I will not be seeing the Barbie movie. We were saying off mic, or at least I was, that Greta Gerwig, who's like known for really good independent films, Margot Robbie, an excellent actor, and this guy, presumably also an excellent actor, they do all this work to be in a movie about Barbie. Okay. Or Transformers. Take your pick of nonsense
There you
toys.
go, Transformers. Listen, they made cartoons about it.
I'm just saying Hollywood likes to take everything good and make it awful. So there we go.
Right. Which they're shooting right now. They're shooting the Barbie movie right now, apparently. And Ncuti Gatwa was in that. Chris, have you seen Sex Education at all? That's what most people know him from.
Not yet.
Yeah, I'll be watching it too.
Exactly.
It's been on the list for a very long time, regardless. So I guess it might just get moved up the queue a little bit now.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, for Jodie Whittaker, I think the only thing I knew her in when she was announced was Attack the Block. So
you knew Attack the Block.
There wasn't much I'd heard of.
I didn't watch Broadchurch
because it
seemed like I would get depressed, and I didn't want to get depressed about a new Doctor. So
yeah, this is the first Doctor since Matt Smith that is completely unknown to me. Which, for someone who's only watched Doctor Who is quite a coup. Like I knew who...
Not really a coup since you don't watch anything but Doctor Who and he wasn't in it until now.
Like, well, I not only did I know who Peter Capaldi was, I desperately wanted it to be the Doctor, and then he was. And therefore, I feel like I'm not owed anything anymore. Despite being a white male Doctor Who fan, I feel like everything is owed to me. But no, I don't have everything owed because I've got Peter Capaldi. And then I knew who Jodie Whittaker was from Broadchurch, but I have no idea who Ncuti Gatwa is in terms of anything. And he actually he's been in Sex Education. He's been in a couple other things, but like he's been in theater a lot. Came in on the last day, just to counterpoint Matt Smith, who was third on the list on day one, and blew everybody away. And they kept auditioning other actors and thinking, oh, it's Matt Smith, isn't it? It's him. Well, they had someone lined up. They had someone in mind to be the new Doctor Who. And then here comes Ncuti Gatwa.
I just have this image of Hugh Grant at home smashing the furniture. It could have been me.
Yeah. So it's exciting, and he's looking very, very resplendent in his outfit on the BAFTAs.
That should be his Doctor outfit, as far as I'm concerned.
My heavens, yeah, I know.
That or the Speedo from his Instagram.
Yeah, his Instagram's very interesting as well. So,
He's
interesting.
He should be. He's a very attractive gentleman. He should be
He's an attractive gentleman.
He should be proud of that, and I'm sure he is.
I really hope that. I'm looking forward to the costume. I'm looking forward to what he does with the Doctor. I'm looking forward to what his TARDIS team will be. All these things will happen in like 2 years' time. So good. We'll be speculating about it for quite some time.
Oh, God,
almost
great,
about a year.
wonderful.
Well, we got a year and a half, roughly, if it's November next year that we
Before
see.
it disappears from the live stream, I want to highlight Neil Perryman's comment, "That rumor is pants." I'm using that for any and all rumors from now on, including this one.
Warren mentioned another thing about how he's only 29. That doesn't seem too young at all. That's actually older than Matt Smith was when he first took on the role. What's concerning to me is that he was born in 1992, and that doesn't feel like that long ago.
That's wrong.
So
No,
I'm more disturbed with the fact that 1992 is 29 years ago. Well, 30 if you look at
I mean
it.
that's distressing. Yes,
That is quite disturbing. So.
I'm against it. I'm against the passage of time
Yeah,
as it relates to me.
We've been sort of watching various interview clips from BBC News. Lizo Mizimbo was interviewing both Ncuti and RTD on the red carpet, and I loved how when Lizo Mizimba asks Ncuti Gatwa about like, are there any doctors you want to model on, and Russell goes, he just sort of like. I don't know about that question. I don't know about this question. And then once Gatwa starts answering it, yes, there we go. Okay,
he was very diplomatic in his answer.
I know, but he's almost like you could tell RTD's hand is sort of helping him through this, and sort of you're going to be marvelous and stuff. But I'll be here to support you and stuff. Like he didn't seem overwhelmed by anything, because it is a massive thing.
Because this life has completely, just like Jodie and all the other ones, I suppose, except maybe Peter Capaldi, because he's a little more famous to begin with. His life has completely changed at this point.
Yep,
and he's 29. That's a lot to deal with.
29.
Yeah.
So very exciting news. We're doing this on a live stream, folks. Those of you listening to the podcast later on won't know this, but yes, he's younger than my stepdaughter. So there's a lot of us olds who are like confirmed that time is passing us by.
Not your stepdaughter. Let's point that out. That's a comment from the live stream.
Yeah. And everything else. Yep. Anyway, I think I'm seeing a lot of. I mean, it's great. I love that the BBC Twitter account is even in on it, because there is a person said something. I don't have it in front of me. Basically, that all of us, a black writer I think posted. All of us are going to watch this blue phone box show now. And the Doctor Who Twitter account quote tweets that and says, I guess we have to name it the blue phone box show.
I'm totally for this. I want to see
and
that.
They did.
Just call it the blue phone box.
And they did. I feel like there's a changing of the guard in the promotion of the show already. So
in that there's promotion of the show.
You know what? I mean, not to diminish from Ncuti Gatwa's appearance on the red carpet, but there's Russell T Davies. As Warren was saying before we recorded, the showman returns, like it's kind of...
It can be annoying, but he's very good at this.
He's very good at it.
It's mostly annoying in print, because cloying praise sounds, in quotes, worse in print than it does when he actually says it.
Yeah, but I hear his voice whenever I see a quote, thanks to Doctor Who Confidential. I always just sort of like imagine Russell the Davies saying it all. So yeah, there we go. Surely, yeah, I'm sure. Neil Perry. God, it's good to have Neil Perry.
I'd like to point out we have a bunch of infants in the live stream. Everybody's like, he's older than me. I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
That's enough. That's enough, youngs.
That's great, though. That's great. Honestly, I love it. I love the fact that this show, this crusty old show that we've watched since we were in our single digits in age, is still a vital and exciting part for a lot of people who have a new Doctor who is older than them, and he's 29. I love that.
And as alluded to by that tweet you referenced, this will be a lot of people's first Doctor.
Yeah, it's always exciting. It's always exciting when someone is someone's first Doctor.
And we shouldn't downplay the fact that this, Joe Martin being introduced sideways into the show, side-loaded into the show, essentially, aside, this is a big deal. It's good to see this kind of representation finally I guess it will be 60 years by the time he's the Doctor.
Yeah. I know that's exciting bit. And it hasn't been like the focus either. Like it's just sort of been like a finally thing, and like I don't know. It was time. It doesn't seem like a surprise. It just seems like now
exactly.
It's time,
it just seems perfectly normal, but it is honestly. So
it absolutely is. And an actor that I don't know anything about, and so once again we have the few. God, we've seen out so many doctors on this podcast. It's amazing.
The lack of knowledge of his work is, at least at this point, good, because it's really exciting. We can go into things until we binge watch whatever we can of his.
Yeah, we can go into things with no fans.
We can go into things with no we can go into
like
things
with
no preconceptions, and just take away what we're supposed to take away.
Yeah. But Doctor Who fans being Doctor Who fans, there will be preconceptions. We got a whole year for people to cook up nonsense.
Oh, probably. Like, I remember when Eccleston was, we got our first shot on set of Chris Eccleston, and he's wearing, a leather coat and pants and boots and stuff. And it's like, oh, wow, this was supposed to be Eccleston walking to the wardrobe department to go put his flamboyant Doctor Who costume on. And that's his costume. Oh, hey, that's interesting. So, like, what will be Ncuti Gatwa's costume? I have no idea. This is one thing I always wonder about what the Doctor will look like.
I expect that it's going to be like other Doctors, where whatever is picked is going to be something we see all the time. So like we saw like minor variants with Jodie Whittaker's costume. So like the purple shirt or the blue or the whatever, right. And then Tennant had the brown suit, the blue suit, but it was all variations on a theme. And
it won't be like the classic show because none of them have ever been. None of the new ones have ever been anything really. Well,
we see more variety in the reboot and in the new series than we did on the old with costume variations.
I mean, the old show, I guess it wasn't that much more bold because the first two weren't all that bold. But anyway, yeah, it's not going to be as standout-ish probably because the new ones never are really.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know who the costume designer even is. I don't. That part I haven't seen.
Ray Holman still around, or no?
I don't think Ray Holman. No, he's done. He's done with Doctor Who. I definitely saw him tweet that. He says no, I'm out, or was it in Doctor Who magazine? No, it's not Ray Holman. Okay. Who else was costume designer on Doctor Who in 2008? Since they're bringing everyone from there back, but
let's bring back what's her name?
June Hudson. June Hudson returns.
She's still kicking around. She's doing the Blu-ray behind the sofas. So
right. Yeah. So there we go. We are already talking about new costumes for the Doctor.
and shoehorning in classic stuff for no reason.
Yeah.
Will he wear a hat, do you think?
Thor 1160 makes a good point that this may be the first
Yeah.
Doctor whose first exposure to the show is the new series or the TV movie as an infant.
Yes, yeah. I don't think he remembers the TV movie when he was 4 years
Probably
old.
not.
I don't think he remembers.
Maybe
that.
though. Who knows? Could be.
Yeah. We were also discussing he is 5'9.5". So after a run, apart from Jodie Whittaker, who is 5'5", David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, all around 6 feet. We have a shorter Doctor now. Our
Good.
Thoughts on
Finally
a shorter
some representation
Doctor
from my end of things.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. I mean, does that? I'm always fascinated with how British casting is compared to American casting because British. I remember as Ricky Gervais talking about how different things were in the UK than it was in America when they accepted an award. I think it might have been an Emmy for The Office, the second season of The Office. And they all walk on stage. And like Stephen Merchant's like 6'7", Ricky Gervais like 5'8". Like everyone is they look like the Munsters essentially walking.
So that's like normal people is what you're saying.
These varied heights. Whereas
Very
America
disparate.
is like, there you go. They're like, there's basically a compression filter on American casting where everyone is about the same height.
Imagine being the casting director for a Tom Cruise film, where I think nobody's allowed to be taller than him, and he's 5'2".
Well, how about Eyes Wide Shut, where Nicole Kidman is like 6 feet something, and him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trickery happening there.
Everyone's in forced perspective. So, like, I wonder how many companions will Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor have? Will it be one? Will it be two? RTD seems to.
Mandip Gill had implied that her time on Doctor Who may not yet be done. I'm sure it's rhetoric, but nevertheless,
Yeah, it's always rhetoric.
I think she might be back.
No, I don't think she will be.
No, I think she's like most companions, not going to carry over. I guess, Clara. Why can't I remember?
Jenna Coleman.
Thank you. Jenna Coleman did. But that was more or less by design, which this could be too. Also, Mandip Gill has been with the whole run of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, so.
Mm-hmm. Remains to be seen, and we have one episode left. This is the problem with not only a switchover of doctors, but of entire eras of the show. And this is the biggest change, going from just BBC Studios to Bad Wolf being produced by an independent in association with. Is that now it's like, wow, new Doctor, Russell T Davies and everything else, and like we're all sort of looking forward to the future, but we have one more episode to go of Jodie Whittaker's era, and it's just it's hard. Excuse me, it's hard to have it not feel like an afterthought. It's
but that's
it's always
every
been
doctor's
that way.
been like that. Every doctor has felt like that.
But by the same token, we're still 5 months away from this episode, so and it's not like they're going to start opening it's not like they're going to start divulging much about it that we haven't already seen. We'll get bits and pieces as time goes on, but it's a little early for too much, and so you can't not have that kind of effect.
No, but the previous guard has moved on. Like how I feel like they're
Or, sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Think of Peter Capaldi. So Peter Capaldi's half-hour BBC show was June, July?
August 4th. August 4th, 2013,
okay. And then we have him show up in Day of the Doctor. A very, very brief cameo in Day of the Doctor.
Brief, right.
Obviously, we're not going to get Ncuti in the Centenary special because they wrapped last October whatever. But there's sometimes they've used sometimes they've used that transition to positive effect.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking when Capaldi left in Twice Upon a Time, that was very much a coda, I felt, to Capaldi's time on Doctor Who, and indeed Moffat's time on Doctor Who. The end of time, by about 15 minutes in, I was just thinking I just want to get to Matt Smith, and we did. So I don't know,
best part of End of Time, yeah,
it is. And so now we're in sort of this limbo phase where the most recent Chibnall outing has not been that well received or enthused about, and we're just kind of like, well, let's get this over with.
It's hard.
Yeah, but think about what we're going to get with all the characters we're getting on top of being a regeneration episode. So I think there's going to be anticipation regardless. It's
also tough to be enthusiastic this far out. I mean, hype and whatever can only last so long.
That's true.
Yeah. And we all got amped up by the trailer at the end of Legend of Sea Devils. Yeah. So that helps a bit, but that's had a couple weeks now or a few weeks, and it's waned. It's definitely waned.
And you're not going to get any promotion because
not at this point.
No.
Maybe they'll take down the social media again. We'll see.
Hey, it won them an award.
Did they win a Webby? Did they? No, they got nominated. Did they win?
Indeed.
Did they win a Webby? I don't know.
I don't
know if they won it. I don't know if they won a Webby.
It's silly either way.
Yeah, I agree. It is dumb.
Here's something to talk about. Back to Ncuti Gatwa, the Doctor, is that I like the low-key nature of the announcement. It's, I don't know where else they could have gone after a special edition of Doctor Who Confidential where Matt Smith sort of just pops in halfway through, by the way, he's the new Doctor, to Peter Capaldi live TV special during the 50th anniversary year, to a special shot scene for Jodie Whittaker during Wimbledon.
Yeah.
We're kind of just back to, by the way, he's the Doctor.
A trailer would be cool. I kind
of like it.
It's not the end of the world.
I think it's a good way to sort of yep, here's a new Doctor. Like I mean, if we're casting back to how RTD did it in the olden days, Tennant was just like basically a press release, April 16th, 2005. I want to say the date was. By the way, David Tennant's the new Doctor. Just so you know, announced at a BBC website. That you might get if you're on dial-up.
Given how little publicity anything gets now, this does feel like fanfare, frankly.
Yeah, it does. Plus, I mean, we get to meet him. That's the thing. Like, it's like we're seeing interviews with him and stuff, and it's not as, we see this specially shot thing and we have to speculate. We're just like, we're meeting the person, the actor first before we see anything about who his doctor is going to be. And I like that again. I mean, not to, because I really loved the Jodie Whittaker reveal, and it was such a momentous reveal that, the first woman doctor, that I think you sort of needed the build up to it, which was great. And the reaction to it was fantastic. And I don't think you could have replicated that or anything. So I'm interested by the low key nature of this. Like I was, the whole week waiting for news to happen, essentially, and like waking up, nothing yet. Even then, even when I woke up today, I was thinking, I'm just bleary eyed, like at 8:15 in the morning, going, "Oh, what's going on here?" Anything
didn't RTD preface this with the 2 hearts and a blue square emoji on his?
No,
on his
that was Ncuti.
That was Instagram.
RTD commented on it saying, "The future is now."
Okay.
Or the future is nigh, or something.
Yeah,
I've got it on my.
I'm pretty sure RTD said to him, "Okay, now you can put this up."
Yeah,
or somebody at the BBC did, or
yeah. And then I think there's like half an hour or so before the formal press release, so there's enough time for people to start speculating, and then the formal news hit.
Yeah.
But the link is in the show notes, Warren, as to Ncuti Gatwa's Instagram post with that.
Well, I've got months and months to watch it over and over because that's all we're going to get.
Yeah, I've got months to watch it there. There's in the show notes on radiofreeskaro.com there's an interview from 2020 that he did for Netflix, basically choosing his 9 favorite Netflix shows. I think old Friends and old Seinfeld episodes are 2 of them.
The one they canceled. Oh, which one's that? Well, all of them.
I'm looking forward to watching that. I am looking forward to watching Sex Education because I just want to see him in the role. I'm sure he's probably in a supporting role because Gillian Anderson's the lead of that, from what I understand.
Yeah, and I think her son in the show is like the other lead. I think I could be getting this very wrong.
Sounds about right from what little I know. Yeah.
I don't know anything, folks. I watch rally car rollovers right now. That's my main
what
watching
are you talking
thing.
About?
Just because I'm dumb and I just watch things that make me laugh. And
I was going to say, are you from the American South? But you are from Alberta, so you might as well be from the American South.
Don't ask me.
Start a Duck Dynasty marathon while you're at it.
Please don't do anything like that.
Ever watched the show House? House had with Hugh Laurie. He was a doctor, a very cantankerous doctor, somewhat Peter Capaldi-ish. Anyway, one of his character quirks that he loved monster truck rallies, and I always thought that was amusing to me that such a person would love monster truck rallies. Well, rally car rollovers is my monster truck rally. Okay.
Wow, you're a bundle of surprises, Stephen. None of them good.
I surprise myself sometimes, but I will. I do want to check out Ncuti Gatwa in Sex Education, and maybe even a Barbie. Who knows?
And maybe even a rally car rollover. It is is unbeknownst to us. That's his hobby, rolling over rally cars.
I mean, I never watched Party Animals, which was the only thing that Matt Smith was really in before he was Doctor. Apart from that one or 2 episodes of the Ruby Smoke with
Ruby and the Smoke, and he was also in Secret Diary of a Call Girl.
The Call Girl.
I saw a clip of Party Animals, and he didn't say a damn thing. And I was like, well, this is not telling me much of anything. Okay.
Well, Party Animals was a show that we aired at the TV station I worked at the time, and I didn't have access to the only the TV network that I was working on.
So you worked for a premium channel. Yeah.
Yeah. It says, you didn't even give it to us. Just wondered why I got let go from that place. Didn't have the money.
Well, it was poorly managed, so that's right. I said it 10 years later.
That's true, but I didn't even watch the show because I had no way to watch it, and so I never watched anything from him going in, and just was astounded by his doctor. And so now that I'm thinking about it, do I want to watch Sex Education to see what he's going to be? Because
here's the answer to this, completion man. Like, of course you are.
This is the breaking news: is that actors tend to play different roles based on the show that they're in. And so the role that Ncuti Gatwa played in Sex Education might not indicate what his approach to the role at the Doctor
Who fans will immediately imprint whatever the last role. Like Peter Capaldi, 100%. Everybody thought he'd be swearing like crazy for no good reason after Thick of It. Because that's all they had to work off of. But it's still dumb. It's still a silly thing we all do.
See, at the time, I hadn't yet seen Thick of It, but I had seen Peter Capaldi on Skins.
I didn't see him there. I saw him, of course, in Tortured Children of Earth, which is why I wanted to be the Doctor. Of course, yes. And Fires of Pompeii to a lesser extent.
Which is great.
Mostly because, I remember being blown away.
Those are a given, but yeah.
So I'm going to have to seek him out. and maybe just get an idea of what this new Doctor Who for a new generation is going to be like. But I'm looking forward to it. So there. Any further notes on Ncuti Gatwa as the new Doctor Who?
No. I
Gentlemen?
hope for the best, and I'm probably going to get it. He seems like I saw somebody say he has charisma for days, and that pretty much what little impression I have is that. He seems like a very charismatic guy.
Mm-hmm. I hope he's never seen Doctor Who. I hope he's barely seen it, and that he just sort of comes in completely fresh and, just knocks like Matt Smith did.
Even at 29 years old, I mean, the show's been around long enough that he could have seen lots of it. Or
none of it.
It just passed him by.
This may come as a shock to you guys, but not everybody cares about this show.
No, I know. Alarmingly enough. No.
Some people care about it too much.
Yes. You're looking at him right now.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So there, I haven't even opened up all my news links. Chris does the drafts, by the way, and then we also contribute to our news list. There's behind the curtain and stuff. I haven't even opened all of them. Let's see, what do we got? We did Ncuti Gatwa is the Doctor. Got that. His Instagram post with the 2 hearts and the blue box. It took me way too long to get what the blue square meant because I saw blue square, not blue box. Dummy. The interview is in there, a Netflix thing. Okay, I think we covered it all for now.
Yep, we got it.
So there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
We got it. Now the rest of the episode.
Hooray.
COVID. If anybody wants to bail on the live stream now, we've got our regular episode to go.
Oh, COVID update. I am now COVID free. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, rapid test.
Well done.
Way to go, immune system.
Yeah.
And
way to go with 3 shots. Exactly.
Yep.
3 shots. Get your vaccination, people. I'm sure
Definitely
everybody on this live stream did.
I know. I walked home from a thing on Saturday night and it was a bit cold and I got a bit of a chill and I'm still feeling it. And I was a little bit concerned because I haven't had a chill in like 2 or 3 years. And then I tested myself this morning and I'm fine. So vaccines work.
Yes, they do. Honestly, I didn't even feel that sick. I mean, it varies person to person. I don't want to downplay it for anybody else, but I personally didn't feel all that sick. Like I felt when I got the vaccination, essentially, which presumably means it worked.
Yeah. Erica did too. For what she felt worse when she got her first AstraZeneca shot than she did when she had COVID.
Yeah, that was worse than this. So
yeah. Why do we bring up COVID? Because the UK is relaxing COVID production protocols. Social distancing optional. Buffets, that's the big news. The buffets are back. Chris, I want to bring up a comment that you see, a joke that you mentioned in the chat with us a couple days ago, is that even COVID restrictions were waiting for Chibnall to leave.
That is pretty good, I gotta say.
I guffawed at that. In some ways, it almost feels like COVID is to Chris Chibnall leaving as like the Iranian hostage crisis was.
Wow, that is
to Jimmy Carter.
One of your stretches. I gotta say that.
But you got it though, Warren. You exactly know what I meant.
Because I'm a million years old and a news nerd. But I mean, come on, man.
The Chibnall era will forever be defined by COVID.
Yeah,
it will be. Not really his fault, to be fair.
Yeah. No. But I mean, just the timing of it just messed with his era so much.
It really did. I've compared Chris Chibnall to the Graham Williams of modern Who, and that like basically like inflation and everything else runs rampant to and just completely hampers his his entire era, and it ends with a strike canceled episode and stuff,
Well, to go back to the rumor train, rumor has it that filming might start as early as tomorrow for Doctor Who, which I mean, if Gatwa is recording the Barbie film, and I don't know how true that might be, or
I wonder if part of this reveal is because of that. It's like, well, we're going to be filming outside, so we're going to have to reveal this.
Well, yeah, I mean, as Neil Perriman mentioned in the live stream chat, like this feels a little forced, the introduction of him as the Doctor. So if they are starting filming tomorrow, as rumor has it, or if something else, like if the sun was going to leak it or whatever, then it makes sense that we got as low key a thing as we did, because there's no time to prep anything else. But and I completely forget where I was going with all that.
While you're thinking about that, Neil Perryman, ray of sunshine that he is, says, yes, everyone lost their sense of taste during this era. I'm like, oh, is there a hidden meaning there, Neil? I wonder.
But if filming does begin tomorrow, then, that's with these COVID restrictions lifted, that already dramatically changes the complexion of how they're going to do their filming versus what the last couple of years involved with Whittaker and Chibnall.
Till they all come down with COVID, because we're not out of this yet, people.
Yeah.
Expectations are it's going to be, by the end of the year, it's going to be hell again. So,
well, we'll see. But the indication is that shooting is indeed starting tomorrow. Whether that's with Ncuti Gatwa's doctor or not, since he is, as I say, shooting Barbie right now. So read into that what you will. That maybe they're just shooting plates. Maybe they're just shooting. Maybe they're pointing an analog camera against an analog monitor and creating visual feedback for the new Doctor Who.
Weirdly enough, the new Paradigm dialects are back. Who saw that coming?
Possibly, but. So yeah, apparently it's starting to and COVID restrictions are minimized in the UK. So because we beat it, everyone, we completely 100% beat COVID. It's great.
We got it.
We sure didn't. I certainly got it.
I mean, it kind of. I mean, this not to praise governments sort of going lax on restrictions and anything, but I think. What's opening my eyes a bit is that I was a little bit suckered in last summer thinking, maybe we kind of did this because we've all got vaccinated and everyone's just rolling up and the numbers are going down in the summer and Omicron wasn't even a thing yet. And I was kind of thinking maybe this is how it ends. It's just sort of like a boom. It sort of ends, but it doesn't. It fades out. It is a big, long fade out. And this is hopefully part of the fade
Half the world is not vaccinated yet, which is our fault, frankly. So
that's true. Yep. I'm not even sure they're checking on that. But just reading the thing on Variety.com is where they had this story about the guidance no longer instructs producers to assign an appropriately trained COVID-19 health and safety supervisor to the production. That's something I've gotten used to as well, seeing COVID people in the credits and stuff. That might not be a thing, social distancing. So there might be crowd scenes back at Doctor Who again, which is, or any TV
RTD
production.
did love his crowd scenes.
He did a little bit, So there, that is something that will embrace the new production team on Doctor Who. The Sci-Fi London is a film festival happening in London on May 21st, or the weekend thereof. And Doctor Who Am I? The film by Matthew Jacobs that has been years in the making. So that I'm in it. I'm in this.
Yeah, he was at L.I. Who, right?
From 2015, L.I. Who, right? Yeah.
That was L.I. Who 2015.
Wow.
It's having its official world premiere May 21st at London Sci-Fi Con at 4:15 p.m. So check it out. I've never seen it. I've only seen the trailer. There's a trailer and such, and I've seen a couple clips here and there. But yeah, a part of it was shot at L.I. Who. I have no idea how things have changed. I did speak to Matthew a few months ago. Actually, I was on one of Paul Booth's virtual meetups for his Doctor Who class that he does in Illinois. And he was a guest for the TV movie, and I didn't think he'd remember me, and he did, which is nice. And he says, "Yeah, you're in the movie." So, because at L.I. Who, I was I moderated a panel with him where we basically watched scenes from the Gunfighters, which his grandpa was in, and then playing Doc Holliday, and then I would ask him about it basically. So that was our main thing. So whether I'm in it or not remains to be seen. But the premiere of it will be at Sci-Fi.
You may turn out to be Vam, which I think you'd prefer.
That would be great. I'll be like Garrick Hagan in Star Wars, another Canadian who was left on the cutting room floor of a.
Is that Biggs?
That is Biggs.
Yeah, but he got put back in though.
Yes,
so when Matthew does the special edition of Who Am I, then you'll be reinstated.
I'll be reinstated.
And you will somehow shoot first as well.
And a CG Jabba the Hutt. And dewbacks. Don't forget the dewbacks.
Yeah.
Who could forget the dewbacks?
Who can?
And Rontos. Hey, that's enough of nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm like 80% of the way through Skywalker Saga, Lego Star Wars right now. which is a huge investment of time. But there are no dewbacks in it. At least not that I've
so
seen.
just throw that game out. It's absolute garbage. Dewback erasure, that's what this is.
That seems alarming. Wow.
There might be something running around Mos Eisley or something. I don't know. I haven't paid that close attention. But
I finished the story and I just dip in, do 2 missions, and dip back out. That's what it's for now.
I haven't played it a week and a half. It's stretching my levels of completionism to new levels. And I don't know if I have it in me. I don't know.
I'm playing it and Elden Ring. So when Elden Ring gets to be a bit much, which is every 10 minutes, I go back to Lego Star Wars.
Yeah. Anyway, let's have a look in the archives. I don't know what the annals of history here in the it's our weekly segment. It's the Timelash. That's what I'm stumbling around here as I found the audio file to play.
Annals of history.
The time where we look back at history to see what happened, basically what was broadcast this day in history. May the 8th, 2022, Ncuti Gatwa was announced as the new Doctor Who. That's where we were. Remember where we were at that time? We were right here.
In front of our computers, as per usual.
Yeah, 45 minutes ago. So May 8th, Mother's Day in North America.
And Australia.
And Australia too? Not Mothering Sunday, though. Mothering Sunday's in the UK, and it's like in March or something like that, I think.
It's March, yeah. I thought they called it Mother's Day. Oh, okay.
I think they call it Mothering Sunday.
I always heard it referred to as Mother's Day over there.
Yeah, Mothering Sunday. Mothering Sunday sounds like an exclamation. Mothering Sunday, they scored.
Yeah.
It sounds like how you say to not swear around older people.
Mothering Sunday.
And then they get offended for some religious reason.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to say that for now. Mothering Sunday. Let's see here. What happened this week in history that's worth talking about?
Nothing today.
Yeah, May 8th, Part 3 of the Space Museum.
Vampires of Venice.
Vampires of Venice, 2010.
I did not like that when it first came out, and then I grew to enjoy it a lot more on subsequent viewings.
Yeah. Oh, because Matt's just great in it, for one.
Yes.
He's so good in that first season. I mean, he's great as Doctor Who, but he's so good in that first season. The late Helen McCrory's in that, who sadly died last year at a far too young age, playing, I remember seeing a clip of that on, it might have been Jonathan Ross, about the... when you talk about the buxom vampire ladies and stuff, and I just thought, what a quirky doctor.
Overriding memory is, and me being stupid, frankly, because the father, I can't remember the name of the actor, but he's wearing that T-shirt for Rory and Amy's wedding, or wedding to be, or
Rory
and so
Stagg,
as. Yes, and so a part of me was like, that's hilarious, and part of me was like, well, that's an anachronism and it shouldn't happen. Then part of me was very ashamed of myself for even thinking that.
But then he was blown up in a dynamite explosion, so
great,
it was fine.
Which is probably an even bigger anachronism.
I don't know the actor's name, but he played a pirate boat captain in Game of Thrones later after that.
Oh, right, he did, yes.
He did, yeah.
I'll take your word for that one.
Yeah, I know you never saw Game of Thrones.
I watched
House of the Dragon.
Show for you to ignore.
House of the Dragon, yeah, starring Matt Smith. They had a trailer for that coming out. Yeah,
I watched,
you know what?
Yeah,
he's got white hair. I mean,
Well, Game of Thrones is like Avatar. It's like it's coming back, and I'm like, I don't have any feelings whatsoever, good or bad. I liked watching Game of Thrones, but I have not thought of Game of Thrones since.
Yeah,
maybe you will now that Matt Smith is
we'll
in
see.
it. Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not even being negative here. I'm just kind of like nonplussed.
Warren, you're being yourself, and yourself is now 51 and a half years old, and you're
I've been like this since I was 10, so okay.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I think there was a brief bit of...
you were 10.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of optimism in there at some point, but...
Well, it's squashed. Long since squashed.
Yeah, I suppose so. But, William Hartnell returns from his 2-week holiday on May the 9th, 1964, in Episode 5 of The Keys of Marinus, Sentence of Death. Which is a very exciting episode wherein... I think there's a... Is this the one with spousal abuse? I think there is spousal abuse
because that's leading to the trial, yeah.
That's an interesting definition of very exciting.
Yeah, it's like Fiona Walker's character is on the phone or something, and they think that she's hiding something, so Barbara leaves and then... listens on the door, and she gets hit, and everyone just reacts like it's normal because 1960s, baby, that's what you do.
Yeah, great, wonderful.
Yeah. Anyway, William Hartnell back from him. Oh, but what about this? May 9th, 1970, Inferno, Part 1.
Pretty sure this is my favorite Pertwee of all time.
It's tough to argue with that, isn't it? It's good.
Phenomenal. And it goes, 7 episodes? And it goes by
7 episodes.
Bam. It's like War Games fast.
It's ridiculous. It's so... Honestly, let's face it. I think all of us have a little bit... And when I say all of us, I mean every single Doctor Who fan out there as well. I mean, the John Pertwee era sort of like, all right. Because it's not all season 7, like it doesn't carry on for what season 7 is.
There's some good ones in there, but yeah, you're right.
Oh, but God, season 7.
But thankfully, not everything is the
good.
time monster either.
Good point. Yes.
But everything's very chummy for after that, and that's what they wanted it to do to make it a little more accessible. But God, geez,
I always forget that it is arguably the worst multi-doctor story, except maybe 2 doctors.
3 doctors? I love 3 doctors.
3 doctors is not great. No, it's not good. I mean, it's great to see the 2 of them bantering back and forth, but other than that, it's not good.
But Inferno, I remember watching Inferno, and it starts off with the lava stuff, and
the opening titles.
Just so good.
Yeah,
it's also
the first time.
It's also the first time in the Pertwee era we see the console, if memory serves.
Nope.
And it feels
Ambassadors of Death.
I think what I love about it is the slow build up into pure chaos. Like you feel dread watching it, even though it's cheap sets and all the rest of Doctor Who. You feel like, oh, this is actually bad. Really, they're doomed.
What really plays into it, and obviously things go a bit pear-shaped dramatically in the episodes to come, but the fact that Douglas Camfield had an imaginary spat with Dudley Simpson years ago, and Simpson was by this point pretty much the de facto composer for Doctor Who, led to Douglas Camfield, who was scheduled to direct all this episode, of course had to bow out because of his heart condition, but he used stock music, mostly 1 or 2 bits of Dealey Derbyshire's stuff in the Radiophonic Workshop. And that combined with the ever-present sound, just the low rumble of the drill.
Oh, yeah. That really works too. Yeah.
The audio landscape of this episode, I think, is what really sells it. You just get the sense of, as you say, Warren, just overriding building doom.
Futility,
that you don't have Dudley Simpson plonking on an early version of a Moog synthesizer trying to underscore it. Everything is underscoring it already. Oh, such a good
It's like that movie you love, The China Syndrome, which has no soundtrack whatsoever.
No soundtrack whatsoever. It's just
also, I don't think it's in episode 1, but that interrogation scene is pretty intense for old Doctor Who.
It is not episode 1, yeah. It's like 3 or 4. I can't remember which one, but anyway, Inferno, my heavens. I think if you had to name the best Doctor Who story for each decade, I think that takes the 70s for me. I think it does. I
still prefer Ambassadors of Death, but
I love it too.
You'd put Ark of Space behind.
Yeah, there's a lot of Tom Baker stuff that I'd put in here too. So
I would. Inferno is just so good.
Or City of Death.
Wise, excellent.
City of Death behind Inferno.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing about this is why we love Doctor Who. Like people say, oh, I know that some people say don't like Earthshock, for instance. So they go, oh, that's not proper Doctor Who. Well, what is proper Doctor Who?
Whatever it wants to be, damn it.
Inferno and City of Death are both absolutely brilliant in their own ways and completely different from each other. It's great.
Well, I don't even like the McCoy era. I'm never going to say it's not proper Doctor Who, because it is. It's just not what I like.
Right. Yeah.
All Doctor Who is proper Doctor Who. Full stop.
Full stop. It's its own spin-off.
You hear that, Scream of the Shaka fans?
Let's see here. What do we got? Looking ahead. Oh, goodness me.
Doctor's daughter.
Here we go, folks. This is we're into the doldrums here for the next 3 weeks in Series 4 history. Just yes, The Doctor's Daughter, May 10th, 2008.
Hey, it worked out for Tennant. I mean,
watched it recently. It's not any better.
True.
It doesn't get better.
I still adore the concept behind it, like the fact that they were there for such a compressed amount of time, but they don't realize it.
It's not executed well, though.
And the clues with things like the numbers on the doors and things like that. Like there's a story there that could work.
Yeah, I do like how Donna figures it out for sure, and I also like Tennant does a pretty good speech about Gallifrey that I seem to recall being decent. But other than that,
I feel like almost like RTD came up with the pre-credit scene and then passed it off and saying, here you go, work with it. Like what happens is, and they really rush through it. It's such a rushed pre-credit scene just to get to the bit where Georgia Moffat at the time, of course, comes on and says, hello, Dad, and like, oh, and they're sort of using it as like the middle season tent pole essentially. And at the time, and maybe even now, it feels like they're kind of grasping at straws. I don't know.
It made for good trailer.
Apparently, it made for a good trailer. Not a good.
It's got that whole Doctor Who thing of being unjustifiably triumphant, and you're like, I'm not with you on this one show. Although I do like to think that she was rocketing towards the Big Finish offices at the end.
Oh, definitely. Well, it was Moffat
who
said,
did.
You know what? Yeah, Stephen Moffat who suggested, wait a second, why are you killing her off? You should just have her. Kill everyone off, make her live. And so, guess what? I'm still alive. Now off on a rocket ship, never to be seen again.
It wasn't the worst story ever. It just was kind of meh, essentially.
It's down there.
I don't know.
I'm not going to look up to see where it finished in the Doctor Who magazine poll, but I'm sure it was somewhere toward the bottom.
Somewhere towards the bottom. Yeah, it seems that their live chat is agreeing with us on that. What else happened?
Wheel in Space. I mean, that's a thing.
Episode 3, it exists.
It exists.
Hey, it exists.
Yeah, we can watch that one.
We can watch that one. Speaking of doctors returning from holidays, Patrick Troughton, actually he was back in episode 2. But he's still lying. I don't think Patrick Troughton leaves the hospital bed once during this whole episode. He has the easiest time of it.
I don't think I've watched it since Lost in Time came out in 2004. Whenever that came out.
Please, you're missing out. You're missing out.
20th anniversary rewatch.
Yeah.
Of the watching.
Yeah.
In 2024.
What a wow! What a day! What a day in history May the 11th is, folks. We got the Wheel in Space episode 3, which exists. That's pretty much all that it has going for it. We've got Planet of the Spiders episode 2, mostly famous for the massive chase sequence in episode 2 that. Results in.
That means next week we would talk about episode 3 and Jenny Laird.
Yay!
The pinnacle of today in history, Nightmare in Silver.
I'm renaming May 11th Stinktown in honor of these
May
3.
11th, 20. It's we've talked about this a lot on this podcast, but it's worth talking about again. We've been on quite a journey with Nightmare in Silver because I remember hearing rumblings before it even aired, thinking, "Oh, this is not good," and then we watched it and it wasn't good, and then immediately after it airs, Edward Russell, the brand manager of Doctor Who, tweets out, "Yeah, we probably should have taken another pass at that."
Wow. That's some brand managing right there.
That's amazing. And so it has, and then I'm sure you're going to say, Chris, when you and I went to go see Day of the Doctor.
Yep.
In the theaters on November 23rd of that year, and for some reason, the Cineplex in Edmonton let some local Doctor Who fans plug in their iPad,
which seems crazy to me,
to the screen, and they watch Doctor Who on their iPad, building up to the
lovely pirated copies of Doctor Who.
Pirated copies of it, and they were just rolling through Series 7B, and Nightmare in Silver was on there, and everyone was laughing and having a good time, and so was I.
Well, we watched Sleep No More with an audience, and it was better with an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who are we? Who are we to complain about Doctor Who?
Well, yeah. We are who we are. That's why we complain about Doctor Who.
May 12th. May 12th is notable because there's only one episode of Doctor Who that aired that date, Planet of the Daleks episode 6. But what's more notable is the fact that in 2007 there was Doctor Who the week before and Doctor Who the week after. But thanks to Eurovision, there was no Doctor Who on May 12th, 2007.
Banish Eurovision forever.
Was that the first time of 2 times that Eurovision completely...
Probably.
Maybe, yeah.
That I recall,
postponed?
yes.
Yeah, postponed.
Because I know, for whatever reason, 2008 sticks out in my mind a lot more for the gap week.
Yeah, I'll talk about that, but yeah.
But we'll get to that in a few weeks.
We will. I wonder if that actually, if they thought, did that jigger around with their release schedule, like, they didn't want to split up a 2-parter. And so did they plan it that way? I don't know. I don't know how it worked. But anyway, there was no Doctor Who on May 12th. Notice how much we think of Planet of the Daleks episode 6.
That's pretty low.
We're talking about the fact that there was no Doctor Who on a thing.
Much like Wheel in Space episode 3. It exists. That's the highest praise you can give Planet of the Daleks.
Yeah,
it exists.
Can't take that away from it.
Yes, I can. I'm going to go wipe it now.
Yeah, I know you can. Ben and Polly officially leave the TARDIS on May 13th, 1967, in episode 6, The Faceless Ones. I say officially leave because they were gone by episode 3, if not episode 2, because they're written out, but they were already in a pre-film sequence saying, well, guess what? You're here, now go away. And so they did. The end of The Faceless Ones.
On the longest day in Doctor Who history. July 20th, 1966.
It is. Here's an interesting thing on my daily Doctor Who watch. I am watching this episode tonight, May 13th, 1972, episode 6 of The Mutants.
Mutants isn't as bad as everybody
Well,
makes
it's
it
a
out
coincidence. I've always enjoyed The Mutants.
It's not, and it goes on a little long, but it's still pretty good.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't at the time, but I like all Doctor Who, let's face it.
Well,
even Nightmare
what
in
a shock.
Silver, apparently, so I know.
Yeah. Nostalgia is a powerful drug.
Easily pleased. That's your middle
No,
name.
I don't know. Actually, when I first watched it was one of the stories where I thought, this is dumb. There's dumb parts in this, and I don't like it. And so
I think the biggest thing about Nightmare in Silver was Neil Gaiman, quote unquote, wrote it.
Oh, he did.
Lost it, didn't he? Lose it?
No, that's right. This is the one he did write. Doctor's Wife.
He did write,
less
yeah.
So,
Doctor's Wife.
That's the way around it was.
Yeah.
And the expectations of it were just so massive, and the disappointment was matching it.
Let's go move to the modern series, though. 2006, Rise of the Cybermen. The Cybermen return.
This is
May
a pretty good
13th,
intro to the
2006.
Cybermen.
I think
also,
the intro shot, the Graham Harper shot of them walking into focus. Even though we'd have already seen them, pictures of them and stuff. But
also, all the alternate history stuff or alternate universe stuff was pretty cool at the time, as I recall.
It's a week for that, apparently, with Inferno.
Oh, yeah, good point.
With Zeppelins. You know you're in alternate history if there are Zeppelins, you know.
Yes. And disgusting cola drinks or whatever it was that Pete was shilling that actually worked.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Haven't really done much of alternate history, which I'm okay with, to be honest. I mean,
I can't, other than those two examples, there's probably another one, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah, but there's no prolonged mirror universe. Like, honestly, even when DS9 went to the mirror universe, I thought, this is dumb. Let's just get back to the real universe. This is dumb.
It was fun to do once in TOS. They didn't really need to do it again.
That was an idea that was far too played out by that point in Star Trek.
And then Discovery just immediately goes there.
On.
And I think, I don't even know what you're doing.
2 different times.
Oh, God. Did not like. So this is okay as I bang my table.
We got Roger Lloyd Pack in there.
The weirdest performance. And how are you going to do that from beyond the grave?
It's kind of fun, though. Come on.
What a weird performance. And by weird, I mean bad.
It's still fun, though.
It's bad. It's so odd.
Colin Spall was in that one. One of the first, if not the first, classic person to do classic and New Who.
No, it was the cat from Bad Wolf. Not Bad Wolf, Boomtown. First scene in Boomtown, the guy gets killed in the cabinet meeting with Margaret Blaine. He was in Torchwood later on, playing Gwen's dad, but he was also in Remembrance of the Daleks. So he, I believe, was the first.
Did he? I don't remember him having much of a role in that, though.
No, I don't remember either.
Yeah, understand that this is all I watch, folks. This is all I watch and read about is Doctor Who. I've never seen Sex Education. Everyone has seen Sex Education. I haven't. I have no idea. But I can tell you that a cat from Remembrance of the Daleks was in Boomtown.
Well, it is a marketable skill on this podcast and nowhere else.
This is it. Find your niche. That's my advice to you. After 15 and a half years of podcasting, find your niche and go with it. It's mine. Oxygen 2017, May 13th. Yep, Jamie Matheson's to date final Doctor Who script. That was great. That was a good story where Doctor Who goes blind
too. Yeah,
it was proper scary, wasn't it? Remember
that walk in space with no helmet is pretty intense.
It's intense. Even because we don't hear that's a good story. I gotta watch series 10.
They're not zombies, but they're able to use all the zombie tropes despite that, which is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I love the concept of high concepts and stories, and the suits walking the corpses around. Just that's so creepy.
How close are we to them charging us for air? I'm pretty sure we're like about 10 years away from this on Earth.
Well, man, get a bottle of water at an airport. We're already halfway there.
Exactly. Or go to a movie and pay for any food.
That's true.
Which is not a new phenomenon, though.
No, $7 for a bag of popcorn. Are you kidding me? Come on.
But they're all aren't they all like? I haven't gone to the movies in years, obviously, but aren't like bags of popcorn now like you can get free refills on them?
No idea. I never get.
What magical world is this? What magical world is this?
I think it's just a draw to get people back to the cinemas.
That's a bad idea.
I would do that. There's a new Marvel movie out apparently, and maybe I would go.
I have seen it. It is fun.
See that. Oh, is it? Okay. And maybe I just go there. If they had refillable popcorn, I'm pretty sure willingly walk out.
I don't know if it's every theater, every chain.
Speaking of COVID, I was the only person wearing my mask in the theater. Only person. But I wore it the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Here's the thing that's back to COVID, which is everyone's favorite topic, is that it's giving me hope in a cynical way, is that we are doing our absolute best to drive up COVID numbers, and they're actually going down. And, that's impressive in and of itself.
Try harder, everyone.
We are doing nothing. It's like no masks, no restrictions, everyone do whatever you want, and the numbers aren't even rising. God, we got to try harder at that.
Crossed fingers.
I interact with people as little as possible, and have done for quite a while, and I enjoy that. But I'm I have a planned trip to the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and Northern Ireland in a couple months' time.
Not for much longer, Northern Ireland, possibly.
And I am leery of international travel and
you'll be fine.
Stuff like that.
You'll be fine.
There you go. Noted scientist Stephen Shapatsky says you'll be fine. So you'll be fine.
With a bad Scottish accent.
Exactly. I forgot to mention May the 12th, just because I looked at May the 14th. May the 14th, 1996, the Doctor Who TV movie premiered on the Tuesday night movie on Fox. May the 12th, the Sunday previous, had its world premiere on ITV, the TV station that I watched it live in Red Deer at a friend's place in Red Deer. And little did I know that in a year's time, I don't have it on me right now, I would obtain the tape label from the world premiere cassette that it aired on. I should have, to this day, I wish I would have taken both 1-inch masters and just taken them. But I was brand new to the TV station, ITV.
To this day, I wish I had been a thief.
Oh, I could have had them. I could have had the original. I would know where to play them.
I would feel the same. Honestly.
You don't have to have any means of playing them. I mean,
that's true. Yeah,
it's like Kane with the ice statue. It exists. That is enough.
Then just kill the person who recorded it. Kill Kevin Booth. You're dead. So there. Anyway, how many years is that? That's 26 years.
26 years ago. Yes, you watched it in Red Deer. I've told the story before. A number of us from the Edmonton and the Edmonton Doctor Who group went to international Doctor Who superstar Dave Yadley's house and watched it then.
Oh boy!
I would like to point out, and I wasn't living at home at the time, I don't think, by 1996. But I was, as befits a Doctor Who fan, I remember watching it at home alone in my parents' basement. So I think that's the way you're supposed to do it.
That is the way. Like, hey, do you want to gather around and watch it? No, this is Doctor Who. Mom, I need to watch this alone because I've always watched this alone.
And always will.
I know. I'll tell you what, watching it alone for the first time helped me because 10 days later I would watch it with people. I'm talking about Father's Day, which aired on May 14th, 2005. Excellent. The first Doctor Who story I ever openly cried while watching, and that's why I was happy to do it on my own, so that I could get my emotions out before
get
watching
ready for RTD2 because he is a master of the waterworks, let me tell you.
Well, getting ready to watch it 10 days later with friends on CBC, because of course CBC was airing it 10 days after original broadcast.
I forgot about that.
Which at the time was like, holy crap, what a turnaround. Father's Day. What a great story. My word. That's we talked all about it in Paul Cornell's Miniscope a few months ago. But
it's very good.
Yeah.
And I forget how good it is till I watch it again. I'm like, oh, wow, this is really well put together.
It is really well put together. It's, yeah. I mean, Sean Dingwall's amazing in it. I think Joe Ahern's directing is excellent. But
they're all great. The entire cast is great.
It is, and my favorite scene is when Sean Dingwall's looking out the window and sees the car going around the block and disappearing and returning again, and you could just see in his face that he's just like he realizes what he has to do, and there's not a single word said.
It's excellent. Yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah, lesser TV would be going, I have to stop this, Like, it would be some dumb talking to himself monologue.
By lesser TV, you mean all other TV in your estimation?
There's a lot of TV. I saw it in Star Trek Picard a couple weeks ago. Okay,
like, fair enough. Yes.
Like, what's her name is Googling who her father is, and she keeps telling, I have to stop this. There are other people. Thanks for narrating. Everything.
I remember reading somewhere that the reason you see a lot of people reading stuff off a screen, like out loud, is because the movie goes, or the people make the movie are like, well, not everybody's literate or reads fast, and that's why they do that.
Yeah. Well, thankfully he didn't have to explain, wait a second, that car keeps disappearing. Didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, also the flip side of that is you could be illiterate or and still pick up what he's putting down there without having to say a word. So
because it's got pictures.
It's got pictures, moving pictures. Yeah. And
talked about The Doctor's Wife earlier, and
it has risen in my estimation, and I always liked it. But
May 14th, 2011.
I think it was the hype train was just a bit much at the time.
Well, because Neil Gaiman was writing for Doctor Who, and that was the big draw.
Was he though? It's got a great ending. Like I love the ending. Like with Idris. I just want to say hello. That part's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
There's some good touching moments in there.
Yeah. I mean, it was
and of course everyone lost their bleep with the Corsair, thinking, "Oh, we're gonna get a new Time Lord in here." And
Nope. Also, I love the junk TARDIS. That whole sequence is great.
That was cool.
It's Blue Peter.
It was Doctor. I think I'm trying to think here of like sort of superstar writers, which is kind of what Moffat sort of went. Like he went with Frank Cottrell Boyce,
Neil Cross.
Neil Cross, like going for like sort of big name writers to bring in. Richard Curtis, obviously.
Oh, Richard Curtis, big time, yeah.
And this was another one. Like this is like everyone sort of thought, Neil Gaiman should write for Doctor Who, and it was treated as like a tentpole. Neil Gaiman writing Doctor Who, so much so that they threw The Curse of the Black Spot in between the two-parter and this, just to sort of like bury it. Because they knew they had a tentpole in The Doctor's Wife, and people are still talking about The Doctor's Wife. And
it's good.
It's good, but not great.
It's okay.
I know some people really, really love it.
It's okay. Yeah, it's got some really good elements for sure.
It's got some really good elements, just like many things here in This Week in Doctor Who history in the Timelash. Now with the rest of the episode, everyone, where we read about stuff, mostly audio stuff. Dominic Glynn, who of course did the theme tune for Doctor Who for the Trial of a Time Lord, and did
best theme tune ever.
Chris really loves it. I love it.
One
too,
of my favorite ones.
It is top of my list. Yep.
Howl is still my favorite.
Did music as well, of course, for several Doctor Who stories from 86 through 89. He is putting out his CD versions of his remixes. They've apparently sold out, but he has some on his Facebook page and Twitter. We've linked his Twitter bio and pinned tweet in the show notes at radiofreeskaro.com. You can get signed copies of the CD remixes from Dominic Glynn. I have one. He gave one to me at a convention many moons ago, Gallifrey 1 when he was there. I cherish it. So there, if you would like signed copies of his CD remixes of like the Happiness Patrol and the Dragonfire and the Ravalox remixes of from the Trial of a Time Lord as well, those are the three that he's got. You can reach out to him on Twitter and Facebook. Also, this is exciting, and don't you think for a second that I haven't thought about this.
No, I know you have.
Dominic Glynn is on eBay, is selling his old Korg M1 synthesizer, the very synthesizer he used to create the score of Survival. On his Facebook page, he played various bits of the soundtrack on the keyboard, and that's the sound. Those are the sounds.
So like, it's honestly going for pretty cheap as far as I can tell.
I know. I thought Korg M1s would be like thousands of dollars. But
not to mention a Korg M1 that actually played Doctor Who music.
Right. I know. So
now I'm not going to get one because live stream. I've got one of these, an $80 piece of junk.
Oh, I got.
And I've used it all of twice.
Right.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
No. You're going to say, Chris.
Well, I just wonder, like, are the samples still loaded into it from
I
Survival?
think they are. I think the sounds are still loaded into it, so you could get that. You could recreate the soundtrack of Survival if you pick up the Korg on eBay. Anyway, like, if you're interested in that,
Chrome is choosing to render the page incredibly poorly for me for eBay. So what's it going for? What's the cost? You said it's not
going
too much?
Right now, as of last report, it's going for £643.
Okay. So what's that, about $1,000 Canadian?
About that, I don't know what is the exchange rate thanks to Brexit. I don't know what that is. Let me tell you, it would cost a pretty penny to ship it to Canada. Were I to be
$1,024 says Spotlight.
There you go. That's nothing for a keyboard, and it's a keyboard that created a Doctor Who score.
Yeah, I would never use it. I would just keep it in a holy place.
Yeah. I know. Which
is probably not what Dominic Glynn's doing. He's just like, it's probably just sitting in his garage somewhere.
Yeah, this should be in a museum. Is what it should be. Just like the that cross thing that River Phoenix,
or perhaps in a Doctor Who exhibition.
Maybe let's get that thing back. It should be playing on an auto loop. Someone should buy it and then put it in the Doctor Who exhibition whenever it comes back, and it just like rotates around like a player piano playing.
Remember the replica Eighth Doctor TARDIS that I think console that showed up at Gallifrey One? It should be part of the console.
That is the real.
That is real because that was all right. The props are sold off and bought by whomever.
Okay.
And
well, then jam it into that console for no good reason. Or honestly, you could jam it into the first Smith console and it would fit right in. So
yeah, or the one is seen in The Doctor's Wife. So
that's true.
That's true. Other stuff. Speaking of exhibitions and stuff, Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder exhibition opens in where is it? In Liverpool this summer.
Yeah, from 27th of May, apparently. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty soon.
It's just a loop of the footage of the Beatles on Doctor Who. Yeah, that's all it is.
You're not thinking of making it up to Liverpool, are you, Chris? When you go to the UK?
No, probably not. No.
Okay, it's a bit of a trek.
It's a hike. Yeah. We are. Well, we're going to Manchester for a day for a concert. Which is obviously not that far from Liverpool.
You guys live in Alberta. Driving to Calgary is driving across England, so come on now.
I know, but the roads on they're not that windy. They have carriage. I still like calling them carriageways, but I don't know which highways lead everywhere in the UK. But Chris doesn't drive, and they drive on the wrong side of the road in the UK.
True. Wrong.
So it'd be
not opposite. Wrong.
Be dangerous.
Shame on you, England.
Yeah, if it's not the right side, it's the wrong side. So
nothing England has done ever in the history of England has been bad except for that.
Their worst crime.
Exactly.
Yeah. The Radiophonic Workshop. Oh, that's exciting, actually. So, as I said before, I haven't opened any of these things up, so I'm essentially, because the Ncuti Gatwa news sort of took over this podcast. We were going to have a light, lazy podcast about speculation about announcements, and then we woke up to Ncuti Gatwa as being the new Doctor Who. The Radiophonic Workshop is playing, I'm reading this for the first time, the Ronson Theatre. Where's that? London? Is that in London somewhere?
At the Science Museum.
Oh, the Scientarium, the Science.
Yep.
Yeah.
The local Scientology office. That's where it's playing.
The Scientology building is not that far from the museum district in London, actually.
Nothing to do with Scientology.
No, or one of them. There's multiple Scientology buildings, but the main one that I can think of.
Yeah, they're doing a show. With Stealing Sheep Friday, October 7th. So tickets are available now. That would be cool. That's still a thing. I mentioned in a past episode that Erica and I are intending on going to Regenerations in Swansea next September 2023 for a convention there because it's returning. And, it would be to have other Doctor Who events around at the same time. It would be really cool if the Radiophonic Workshop were like doing a show at some point because that would be an experience to see live.
Just for your benefit.
Cool. Just for me and my benefit, yeah.
John Levine and Katie Manning were just announced for Regenerations, I believe.
Were they really? Well, yeah. Cool. I have no idea what's going to be. All I know is I've never really been to a proper Doctor Who convention in the UK, apart from the one day at Derby that Warren and I went to, where they talked to the late, great Michael Pickwoad. So
that was an evening with. It wasn't really a convention.
It was an evening with, yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a Chinese meal, a succulent Chinese meal with Michael Pickwoad.
What a lovely fellow it is. Lovely wife as well.
Yeah. Maybe a similar experience awaits us in Swansea, in Wales.
Yeah.
Wales.
Experiences will certainly await you, yes.
Let's end with some Big Finish stuff. Big Finish audio novels. The Dead Star is due January of next year, January 2023. It's a Patrick Troughton era
with Ben and Polly.
With Ben and Polly, who left this week in history in the Faceless Ones.
To go into this, that was the whole continuity right there.
Yeah, written by Kate Orman as well.
Cool.
Yep. So there you go. That is for January of 2023. That's the audio novel read by Michael Troughton, who, of course, now has taken over the role of the Second Doctor in the Second Doctor Adventures for Big Finish. The Fifth Doctor Adventures continue in April. We're into this. I love it when Big Finish announces stuff for over a year away. I love it. It's really cool. Which is the Fifth Doctor Adventures Conflicts of Interest come out in April 2023.
It was probably
burying the lead here. Who's in it?
Yeah.
The one true Borg Queen herself, Alice Krige.
I know Alice Krige is in.
I don't know how you pronounce her name.
I think it's Krige. I think it's
just a crap on Picard again. The one true Borg Queen.
Wow.
Any version did okay.
She's fine. She's fine. But Alice Krige can't be better. She's awesome in First Contact.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And she was back in Voyager as well, wasn't she?
I don't remember.
No, I think they had someone. I think she was in there for one episode, and then it was someone else for the rest of them. I don't remember. Okay. Voyager, the road trip.
I've seen about 6 episodes of Voyager in my life.
Yeah,
that's enough.
To see any
I put them on in the background sometimes, and that's kind of where they should be.
Yeah.
Some people love them, so I'm not going to crap on that parade. I will crap on Picard, though. It done me wrong.
Moving on. Ninth Doctor Adventures Back to Earth is out now for Big Finish. You can get that on the BigFinish.com website. And lastly, from Big Finish, the annual Paul Sprague Short Trips competition is open. Closes at the end of June. This is where, of course, you can submit your idea for a one-off short story thing in honor of Paul Sprague. So yeah, many I don't know the history of writers on this, but I know that some of them have certainly gone on to write a lot of things, including for Big Finish.
Have, yes.
So that next person could be you. You could be that person, and submit your ideas. BigFinish.com. So there we go. That is it for our wee episode of this here Radio Free Skaro podcast. To recap, Ncuti Gatwa is the new Doctor Who. But maybe not the next Doctor Who.
Yeah. Don't ruin it. Come on.
We will see. We will see in the days and weeks to come, everyone. But happy days indeed. It's exciting to have a new Doctor in the fold in this grand old show that's rattling towards its 60th anniversary. So, all right, folks. Thanks for listening. Thanks everyone who joined us for the live stream as well. But until next time. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.